What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the B-SRTN podcast.
I'm single Rikki.
I am taking Nick. It's looking like a trend, Rikki.
He's busy. We got to respect it because honestly, first of all, we had to talk him into doing it. Second of all, we practically begged him. But ultimately, he told us how busy he was. He told us that there's going to be times he's not going to make it. So we just got to forgive and move on.
Well, I will allow you to forgive and move on. Brandon, if you're watching, I don't know what happened.
It's probably, you know what? I think the last time he was here was after you said that you had sent him a fart. Maybe he did not like the fart, Nick.
Oh, no, he liked the fart. The fart was good. He really is just busy. I get it. I want to give him a hard time. Don't mean to, but I do. We miss him, right?
Yeah,
I was with Katie and her sister's son and some people earlier. Actually, you and I were in the same vicinity earlier. We never crossed paths. But I was with Katie. I was like, "Hey, do you think if I asked Brandon if he's available for a phone call around this time, like, do you think he'll take my phone call, or will he just say he's busy?" She was like, "Nick, he already knows you're recording today. He's not doing it. He's busy. He's got stuff to do." Like, well, I could try and hijack him and kidnap him into it.
That would have been funny.
Probably still not the best. Hey, Brandon, I want to talk to you, but I can't do a FaceTime or a phone call. I need you to get on how we get on with the podcast. It wouldn't have worked.
Not dumb. I know, and how crazy is that? We were in the same vicinity, like literally, like the same shopping plaza. Not a very big plaza. And we didn't get to see each other because Charlie decided to go full on redneck and not wear shoes.
Just make sure she wears her soccer cleats and shin guards.
Yeah.
So, which soccer started last week.
Yeah. She got me running.
Yeah, she's doing a lot. So, I do have some podcast news.
Okay.
It's what I shared with you earlier.
Oh, okay. I was like,
but
was there something else?
I want all these people to know, though.
Okay, let's tell them.
So probably by the time this episode happens, I'll be in the possession of some merch. And it's not the merch you're thinking about, hats and stuff coming at some point. But I'm gonna have some stickers. Here's what they're gonna look like. So I'm covered up right now because there's gonna be a sticker right behind me. So you can't see me at all. So it's gonna be Rikki. Oh, sorry. It's gonna be Rikki and the sticker. And now I'm back. What's up, guys? So no, we're gonna have some stickers actually at the event today. There's a lady that has a business. If I can remember it off the top of my head, I will post it right down here somewhere. I'll just put her shop info. She has hats, shirts. She has a ton of stuff.
We had a hat made.
That's who's doing the stickers.
Oh, wow. Very cool. I did not know this. But Charlie did get a hat because I piggybacked her over to there because I knew we were going to visit with Jill and Cindy for a little while.
Yeah, so she's getting us some stickers. Not a lot, only 4,800 of them. I'm just kidding. 48 to start. We're gonna start with 48. I've probably got 10-ish that are maybe already called for, 8 to 10. So it leaves me like 30 though, right? Or 40. So if you're watching these episodes and you want a sticker, text me or Rikki if you know us. Text Brandon if you know Brandon. Or email, I don't know, I think it's b.srtn.podcast. So that's b.srtn.podcast@gmail.com. I'll put it down here too. Yes. Email there, and me or Rikki will get an email and we'll say, hey, we'll get you a sticker. So, And then if you want a hat, let me know and I'll figure out a way to get you hats. So that's good. That's big podcast news for the day, right?
Yeah, exciting.
I would say it's the largest purchase in podcast history so far, but it's not. So,
What
yeah,
is
we'll have to figure. I don't know. Probably
month?
Podbean.
Yeah, I was gonna say the monthly subscription.
Yeah. Shout out Podbean. Let's go. Let's go really big. Podbean covers both of us up. Podbean. Podbean's helping us out. They're getting all of our content out to different places, to Apple, to YouTube, and to their site as well. Their app. Check them out. Podbean's awesome. They cover everybody, all the big names, everybody that you guys follow already, plus us. You can find on Podbean. So check them out. Thanks, Podbean. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's do this. Let's get into this. We got we got a little bit of the norm, right? We're gonna go a little silly with some would you rather's. We got some real and true that you kind of come and said, hey, there's some things that maybe happen with this that are a little shaky. What do we thought? What do we think? And then we're gonna do a callback from the last episode.
Okay.
You should know what it is, but you don't know what it is, and I
have
love that.
no idea.
So let's do this. Let's get it silly. Don't do it, Rikki,
I'm not.
because I'm not doing it anyway. You can put it all over the place, and it's only gonna go right here. Technically, maybe like right there. I don't know. So cool. Would you rather?
Today.
I would say it's a first, but you're doing pretty good. It's not a first. It's a lot. You've done very. We only had to edit one thing out last week. That's perfect. Right? And if you guys don't know when that was, it was at the end of the episode when I went. So, so anytime y'all see that, it's because. All right, we're gonna move past that. No more, Rikki. Shh. We're not. I still have it, just so you know. If we need to remind everybody. Okay. None of those. Or
right.
or any other. Okay. Silly would you rather. Here we go. Would you rather never stand in a line ever again? Or as our friends overseas in England would say, a queue, right? Never stand in a queue or a line ever again. Or would you rather have traffic lights turn green every time your car approaches?
I would rather have the traffic lights turn green every time my car approaches for multiple reasons. One, I've got road rage. It's real bad. I don't like waiting. I don't like waiting if I'm in a car. I will take the back roads just to avoid traffic. That's just who I am. I've been that way for so long I can't even explain it. There was one time I had to travel to Atlanta for work and I sat on 85 for I think 3 hours because there was a car accident.
Nope.
It was miserable. But obviously I was in a place I didn't know, and heck, I don't even know if I could have avoided highways on my GPS at that time. Probably could have, but I probably didn't know how. But also, so I choose that because I like to meet people. So I like standing in line. I usually end up meeting somebody, talking to them, you know, even, just silly little things. It's just, nice to meet people.
The only place I don't want to stand in a line at is at a food truck, right? Because food trucks are just so good. You don't want to wait in line for them.
Yeah.
Or I don't want my son to have to wait in a line at like Carowinds or a theme park or something like that. That stings.
Yeah.
But I'd have to.
Hot.
Correct. It's hot. They're irritable. They're mouthy. They're all ticked off. No. I'm going with what you went with. I'm going traffic light turns to green. I have Shay. I will call Shay on the way home. And it's usually within like 5 to 10 minutes. I'm calling and I don't I'm not happy and not proud of this. Like, I try to not do it. I tend to call people freaking idiots a lot when I drive. Now, I could use more colorful language. I could call them idiots, but I don't. I call them freaking idiots. And I'll be yelling at people to go, or I try not to hand gesture. I never flip anybody off. But I just want people to drive like they have sense, and they don't, and it irritates me. So I want all lights to turn to green because then maybe traffic wouldn't be so bad, for me at least. Yeah, I'm gonna. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go with that one. Okay, next one's a little bit more of a fun one, and
Okay.
this one I think we might both have the same answer on, but we might also not have the same answer on.
Okay.
Would you rather have a personal chef or a personal driver? It's a good one, Ricky.
It is a good one. Last week and the first question of this week, I've been able to answer relatively quickly. This one's really got me hung up.
That's what I said. We might be on the same wavelength on this one as well.
I think I know what you're choosing, and I understand why completely, but I'm going to choose a personal chef. And I'm going
Hey,
that route because, I work full time. I'm a single mom. We got sports, we have all the things. So it would be so great to come home from any of that and just have dinner ready and waiting. Because now I get home from work, it's like 6:15, depending on traffic. Then I got to cook dinner. Half the time we're not eating till 7. And it's not healthy.
and somebody else could take care of Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. Actually, I thought you were going to go the opposite way, which is the way that I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I want a personal driver. I don't want to get in a driver's seat ever again, unless I want to. Right now, I don't mind our minivan. Right, I don't mind my little old whatever. I won't tell you what I call her, but I don't mind either one. I'm about to drive my car here in just a little bit. But I like, if I'm going somewhere and it's a Ford Raptor, I'll drive it. Unless we're driving a long distance, and then I'm like, I'll drive for 5 minutes, and I'll feel better, and somebody else can drive. I'm going personal driver.
I get it. I would have done the personal driver for the fact that at least then you can be productive also while you're being driven around.
We
But
could record a podcast just riding in cars.
yes,
Yep, I like it.
I know, I get it. That was a really tough one. Like I had to think about all the pros and cons before I could answer that one and feel like it was the right choice.
So I have a makeshift would you rather. This just because I thought of it, and it might be fun. You never know. Who knows? Who knows what happens right now? Would you rather drive an old hoopty, jacked up, beat up, rusted out, disgusting, but for the next 10, the only maintenance you'll ever have to do is just oil changes, no tire rotations, no new. Only thing you have to do is oil changes. Or would you rather buy a new car for the next 10 years and have to do all the normal maintenance?
100% I'm going with the old car. I'm not that person. I don't care what I'm driving as long as it gets me from A to B safely. I'm good with it. I've been very blessed with vehicles as of late, but yeah, as far as the maintenance, oh, you could save a fortune if all you had to worry about was an oil change.
Yes, I asked that question because we have a nice minivan, right? I think it's a 2016 Honda Odyssey. It's nice. But the car that I have, my like Shay has the van. I drive it a couple days a week when I drive to Charlotte. She drives 10 minutes, 15 minutes down the road for work. I have a 30-minute drive to work and about a 50-minute drive home. So the days I'm in the office, I drive the van, right? It makes more sense. But the other days I drive my car, which is 96 Toyota Corolla. I could be wrong on my mileage, but I think I'm at 400,000.
Yeah.
She leaks a little oil, not a big deal. I try not to pull in people's driveways because I don't want to leak oil all over the place. But I do very little to no maintenance with her. Keep some oil in her. Make sure she's good to go with. I mean, I've had the same set of tires on it for like 3 years,
Wow.
2 years, maybe. Actually, I think that I put the tires on prior to us moving here into the house we're in, which was in 2020. So I've had those tires for almost 5 years.
Wow.
And they're still like half life. Like I still got a ton of tread on them.
Yeah.
Maybe I have changed. I don't know. But sorry, that was makeshift.
No,
Or
that's okay. So I do I have a follow-up question for it now.
okay.
I'm curious. What was your first car?
It was a 1996 Chevy Blazer 2-door,
Nice.
black.
Nice. I don't
And
remember
this was in.
Go
So
ahead.
mine was in like 2003 maybe is when I got it, because I think it was a couple years before I graduated high school. And I remember that was kind of right in the day of like Need for Speed Underground was a big deal, so you put neon kits under your car, and like that was like the cool thing to do. So I remember my parents for Christmas bought me these seat covers and a steering wheel that were all this like seat covers were black and blue, the steering wheel cover was blue, but I remember there were LED lights that were in the seat covers that if I plugged it into the cigarette lighter, when I played music, the lights would like strobe the sound of the music, or I could just leave them on all the time.
You were straight pimping.
I thought I was cool stuff back in the day, right? It had the gate with the spare tire on the back, so I tried to get these nice big tires, and I'd have one on the back. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I was dumb. I was 16, stupid, thought I was cool, but I was just one of those jabron. I'm like, and this is gonna be controversial. This is a whole nother topic. What I did to my Blazer back in the day is like what the guys do today when they I think they call it squatting, where they put the back of their truck down and they're riding like this, trying to see up over to know where they're going. Stupid. But all right, another topic. Keep going. Talk, Rikki. What was yours?
I don't remember the year, but it was a Nissan Maxima, and I wanted this thing so badly because it had a moonroof. Not just a sunroof. It had the moonroof, the one that went all the way in and opened all the way. And so, God, I loved that thing. I loved it.
What year was it?
It was in the 80s. I mean, I bought the thing for $500. 6 months later, the head gasket blew on it. So I bought one model year younger. That was the exact same thing, exact same color for another $500. And then the head gasket blew in 6 months later, 6-ish months later. So then I bought my next car was a Plymouth Reliant. I bought that sucker for $250 and drove that thing for 2.5 years.
Favorite car you've ever owned?
Mm-hmm. My Mustang.
You still have it? No, you sold it, didn't you?
I sold the the LX50, but I have a convertible now.
I'm trying to think of my favorite car that I've owned. It's probably one of the worst cars that I owned, but it was just fun. I had I want to say it was maybe a 2003 Chevy Impala SS.
Ooh, nice.
It had Bose speakers, a V8, and it was nasty. I loved it, but it had head gasket problems and it was leaking oil and it messed up. So
Yeah.
I had to get rid of that one. So that's probably my favorite. So all right, let's go real and true.
Okay.
Let's do this. I wonder if I can get that to work. Real, true. I don't know. I'll try it. You lead this one. You talk about this one because you had a little story that I hadn't heard of. It was in the news apparently. I hadn't heard about it. So it brought up this idea of, is this good? Is this bad? What are pros and cons?
Yeah, so like you don't know the story, but this was mainstream news for a while there. It was, I would say, in newspapers, but I don't even know if newspapers exist anymore. But it was on the news, it was on the digital news stations, social media, all kinds of things. And so my company actually has a division of us that does this kind of stuff. And so 3D printing. What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it? Some pros, some cons.
So, so until you told me this story, I was pretty pro. Like I didn't really see or understand how there could be a negative here when you mentioned it. Because I think about like TikTok and all this stuff. Like you've got guys that make these like 3D helmets of like Deadpool and Daredevil and Spider-Man, all these 3D helmets, and you make 3D sword. You make anything 3D at this point. You can make shoes with a 3D printer. You can make anything you think about it. You can make it.
Yeah.
I mean, people are making full blown like cosplay outfits and costumes from 3D printing. There's some crazy stuff you can do.
Yes.
But I think what I hadn't thought about was this, like, could you turn this into weapons? And obviously, through that story you talked about, somebody did this. They 3D printed the majority of a firearm, and it killed somebody. Like, so I don't know that I ever thought of it like negatively. I don't think I ever thought of it like, can this be weaponized?
Right.
Because you think about 3D printing, can you make it sharp? Maybe, but you make anything sharp. Guys in jail are making shanks out of plastic spoons. So like out of their toothbrush. So like you can make anything sharp if you have something that will do it. But I guess I never thought of it. And then you and I were talking about it just briefly before. Like, who's to say you can't make an assault rifle base or um, mold and you have one there? Like, there's just I mean, there's so many applications there. But I think my mind went to Rikki. And this is just my standpoint. If it's it is what it is. Do I believe firearms are good? Yes, I think they're good in ways. Are they a weapon? Yes. In the wrong hands, it's detrimental. In the right hands, it could save lives. So I get where people think, hey, firearms are not a good thing. I get it. Like I understand that. But I also see and understand, because my dad was in law enforcement, that they can be used in a good way to help people. Now, again, it's still detrimental. It can still end lives. It's still a weapon. But are we going to ban fast food restaurants because they make people overweight? No. Are we going to ban pencils because they misspell words? No. It's not the act. Like, I'm not going to ban forks, spoons, and knives because we eat with them, and oh my god, if we eat, we're going to get overweight. It's not that. It's not that. It's not the utensils' fault. It's not the pen's fault. It's not the pencil's fault. It's ours. It's human error. It's our decisions. So I don't think you can be like, okay, well, let's get rid of 3D printing because of this. You're always going to have this issue. You're always going to have people doing things they shouldn't do with things they shouldn't do it with. Right? Like, you could take a pencil, sharpen it up, and go stab somebody 100 times with it and kill them.
Yeah.
It's no like, is it different? Yes, it's different weapons. It's different whatever. But God bless you.
Thank
But
you.
I don't think you make it a negative because of a situation or multiple situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So I mean, with my company, we've seen a lot of the upside of it. We've seen parts that have been discontinued be able to be reverse engineered and recreated. Um,
100%.
we have been able to solve issues. There is I don't want to say their name, but there is a pet supply company that is a customer of ours, and they were having some problems. They think that people were purposely sucking things up with this vacuum, and then it would clog, and then they'd have to shut down, call in maintenance, do all the things, and people didn't have to work as much. They didn't have to be as productive. We simply had this little screen to cover that hole on their suction cup made with like a grid pattern by our 3D printing company to put in there so that those things will not suck up into the suction cup anymore. And, you know, they're not going to have the downtime that they used to have. Production's going to keep rolling. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of the positives of it, but I saw the story about the guy. He was a healthcare CEO, and he had gotten shot in New York by some other guy who had 3D printed a gun. And I was like taken back by it. Like, I don't think anybody even knew that. Like, when it first happened, it took a couple
Yeah.
days to figure it out that it was a 3D printed gun, but it was. And it's
So I know the story.
think about.
So now that you said that, I know the story because it was United Healthcare's
That's who it was.
CEO.
Yes.
So, you know, I don't. I'm assuming now. I'm not all things firearm. I don't know all this stuff, but I think a good many of the frames are made from a polymer, which is I don't know how similar that is to what is actually in 3D printing or what it's made of. If it's similar, but I mean, I've held 3D printed things. I've touched stuff. Like I kind of know what it is. It's got to be relatively similar.
Yeah, I mean, so they do use different filaments. So it's not like a buy one get one. It's not just one type of material
Correct.
that they print with. But
And
funny,
some of it,
funny you
some is
said about
heavier and lighter, right?
yeah, lighter. And how you said about the like all the cons and people making the masks and all those things. So one of the people in the building that does our 3D printing with our company, they have multiple companies who do 3D printing, and there was a guy there who does that. He had
It's
like
awesome.
the masks and all kind of stuff. It was really neat.
Like once the podcast starts, we start profiting some money from this. I'm gonna start wearing masks every episode. I'm just
3D
kidding.
printing ones?
I'm just kidding. 3D printed one. Nice. It's funny because I thought about getting Jeremy a 3D printed Spider-Man mask for Christmas, and they're relatively not bad. Like I think it was going to cost me maybe $100, $125 for it. In my opinion, it's not really. I mean, it looks really good. It's a great quality. I'm like, but again, I didn't see a downside until you. Like, I knew about the story, I knew about the killing, but I didn't know it was from a 3D printed handgun. So again, does it change my opinion that I think it does more good than harm? Yes. I think it does. I think there's such an upside that yes, there are going to be cases. Yes, there are going to be things that happen. But again, are we going to get rid of all knives because you can use it for bad? Are we going to get rid of pencils and pens because you could stab somebody with it? We're not. So, yeah, I don't think there's enough of a downside that it's again, people that want to do harm are going to do harm, whether they whether we outlaw all guns or not. Guess what? People are still going to have guns.
Yeah.
People are still going to get them. Like I've kind of always said, like, hey, I'd be okay if we said, hey, all the guns need to be confiscated, only if we can figure out how to get rid of all drugs and drugs were never an issue again. I think you could then look at taking firearms away. I think you could then look at that being semi-viable. But if we can't get rid of drugs and it's as big as it is, I think again, there's not a way to do it correctly.
Yeah.
So it's not the gun's fault. It's not the drugs' fault. It's not the pencil's fault for right and wrong. It's the user and what they do with it. And unfortunately, you'll never get rid of evil.
Yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I think it has to be in the person who's doing it. It's not, you know, Mother Teresa probably would walk right past the gun and never think to pick it up and harm somebody with it. It's in the
Correct.
person, not in the item. So I agree. I mean, I think there's definitely an upside to the 3D printing and the things that can be accomplished and will come from it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I mean, there's so many applications you can use for it that there can't be a downside. Like, yes, bad things can happen with stuff, but in reality, it's a good thing. I think it's lowering cost of things. Obviously, it's probably a lot cheaper to make parts with that than it is other materials. So it's cost effective. It's I mean, it might be safer than some other products. You know, environmentally. I don't know. Like I don't know enough about it to be like it's this much safer than this product or it's this much more reliable than X. I don't know enough about it to say that, but there has to be some type of upside.
So I just you just nailed it. So like I was sitting here thinking, trying to think of like downsides. And the thing that hit me was the environment. So if we start 3D printing all this stuff with plastics, and plastics are not recyclable, so that's sort of another con, I would think.
Depending, is it a biodegradable or
Right.
recyclable material? I don't know. Again, I just don't know enough about that industry and about that product to say it's better or not better for the environment. But then again, you look at how many bottles of water are there in the world. Is it really bad? I mean, is 3D printing that much worse?
No.
At least that stuff's probably not going into the ocean. It's not going into lakes and rivers. It's in people's
Yeah.
houses on the shelves as display pieces. So I don't know. Could be wrong, but all right. Well, that was a good one. Actually, I think that was it made me think a little more. Like when you first said it, I was like, oh, there's no way this is like cons. I'm going to edit that out. Pros and cons. There's no way there's pros and cons, and there's no way cons exist with it. But the more you and I talked about it a little bit before, I was like, dang, actually, this is a good topic. Let's chat about this one. So cool. Well, that was some real and true. I liked it.
Yeah.
Nerdy. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna stick there. Nerdy. Go ahead, Ricky. I see it in you. You wanna pop it all over the place. Go ahead. You've been waiting to do that the whole episode.
You
So
know me too well.
like the first time you were like, no, I'm good.
I was
I'm
like, no,
not
I'm
gonna
not going to do it. I'm trying to
I'm
forget.
not I ain't gonna do it today. And then the second time and I was like, real true or real true. You were like, and then this time I saw it, you were like,
Oh, you
ah,
know me too well.
nerdy. Here we go. Callback. You know what my callback is? I got 10 more friends trivia questions.
All right. Hopefully, I'll do better this time.
It's so much fun.
All right. Let's go.
Let's do this. Question one. And now we have a special guest. I can put the question and answer at the bottom. That's a lot of editing, but I can do it.
I know you can. You've been
Actually,
killing it.
the questions will be up here, and I'll put the answers down here. I got this. All right. Question one. What is Chandler's middle name?
I know I should know it.
I don't even know if I can pronounce it.
I, I can't think of it.
I'm going to probably mess this up because I didn't know the answer to this either. Muriel?
Muriel.
Muriel. Muriel.
Yep.
Muriel. All right, so that's a that's a big nope.
It's hard when you're put on the spot.
Let's go. Question number 2. Ross says whose name at the altar in London?
Rachel.
Rachel. That is a yes. Good one. 1 for 2. I like this. Here we go. Here we go. Who was Joey's imaginary childhood friend? I'm just going to go ahead and type no as the answer.
Some of these are so obscure.
I'm writing yes or no to your answers here.
No.
I went ahead and wrote a no.
No.
Maurice.
See, I don't even remember that.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and type no to the next question.
How old was Maurice?
He was imaginary. He could be whatever age you want to. What was the profession of Joey's imaginary friend, Maurice? I'm going to give you a hint. This was a movie. The title of this movie was What He Was. And it had. Now I don't know. See, this is where I don't know the answer. Hang on. We're gonna take a little pause on this. I'm gonna look this up because there were some good actors in this movie. I know it was Clint Eastwood, I think. I could be 1,000%. Oh, it was Clint Eastwood. Love this that I know what I'm talking about sometimes. All right, I will give you the 4 main actors of this movie.
Okay.
And these 4 actors. Was it 3 or 4? Let me make sure I have the names right. Here are these are the 4 main characters of this movie. Clint Eastwood, Donald Sutherland, Tommy Lee Jones, and James Gardner. They all did something together and they were called blank blank.
Wow. Um,
You ready for your answer?
yeah.
The answer was he was a space cowboy. The name of the movie is Space Cowboys.
I've never seen it.
Go watch it. This is a movie you should watch this weekend. Great
Um,
movie. I've watched this movie 13 times. I swear to you. I loved this movie as a kid. It was great. Came out in 2000. Awesome movie. All right, we got to keep rolling. This one, if you get, I'll be really excited. And this is in no way Charlie at all. So let's just clarify that. What was Monica's nickname when she was a field hockey goalie?
oh, oh gosh.
Or maybe we will call Charlie this. I don't really know. Nope.
I can picture
Okay.
that episode.
What was she made fun of when she was a kid? What did people make fun of her for?
She was overweight.
Keep rolling with that.
She was big Bertha.
Big fat goalie. We're not calling Charlie big fat goalie. We're not going to do that.
I mean,
We could, but we're not.
if you wanna.
She would climb me like a spider monkey.
So hard.
She would climb me like a spider monkey and gnaw my face off. I am not calling her that.
You're correct.
All right. Question number something. What does Rachel guess Chandler's job is? Maybe next episode I'm going to give you really easy one. to make you feel better.
Is he an accountant? Or she thinks
Nope,
he's an accountant?
nope. She thinks he's a transporter. Ah,
Listen, I'm even learning about it, even though I watch it as much as I watch it.
who is Joey's agent?
I can picture her face. I can hear her voice. Phoebe pretended to be her after she died. What the heck is her name?
This isn't her name, but no.
Oh my gosh. I got nothing.
Estelle or Estella. I don't know if it's Estella or Estelle.
It's
It's
Estelle.
one of Estelle. There you go.
You're killing me.
uh, you're gonna hate this one too. What was the What was the name of Chandler and Ross's college band? Nope. It was called Way No Way. This one you should get.
I
I
hope so.
I, are you a Monica fan? Do you know a lot about Monica? Okay.
I
You're not
thought
getting
I
this
knew a
one.
lot about the show, but I'm proving that to be incorrect today. So I don't want to say I'm a fan of any of it at this point.
I'm going to go ahead and just type no for this one then. Monica categorizes her towels in how many categories?
13?
Really close. 11. Last one, Ricky. And then you can hate me for the rest of the day for these questions. Ross and Chandler's, or sorry, not Chandler's. That would be bad. Ross and Rachel's wedding. Their dinner was held where in Vegas? Ross and Rachel's wedding dinner was held in what place in Vegas?
I didn't. Oh gosh, I didn't even think they had a wedding dinner. I have no idea.
A Pizza Hut.
That's kind of funny.
Oh,
I hope they got the pan pizza.
I don't do pizza
Ugh,
pizza, so
Nick, I don't know. Lack
I
of
will
sleep.
take I will take Marvel trivia whenever you're ready.
Okay. Okay.
Let me be. Hold on. Let me rewind that because if I do that, you're going to give me some crazy Star Wars stuff like I did with Trey. I ain't doing all that. I hadn't done the comics or books.
Movie.
MCU movies and shows. Only MCU. MCU movies and shows. I can do the trivia on that.
Okay.
Baseball rule trivia, I can do. Baseball trivia in general, it's too much. I can't.
So I'd have to be careful with the Marvel trivia for the fact that I still have not made it through the whole pattern.
No, I'm saying you could ask me questions at some point. I can
Yeah.
answer any of it.
Yeah, but I
I
don't
got
want
it.
to know. I don't want to know secrets.
Where did you finish at? Where are you at?
I got to go to the Hulk next. And I think that's kind of why I stopped. I don't know how I feel about the Hulk.
If you do it in chronological order, that's the first movie, Ricky.
I'm not doing chronological. There was an 18 movie list that cropped out a bunch of the crap, but it got you to be able to watch the Avengers and understand what was happening. And so it started with Captain America was number 1, and then
Okay.
and then Iron Man 2,
Correct.
and
I am
then
wrong.
huh?
I am wrong. You are
Okay.
correct. The very first movie, if you do it in chronological, which is what you're doing, from the first time frame, would be Captain America: First Avenger because that was took place back in World War II days. if you take it in the order they were released, it would be the Hulk.
Okay. Yeah. So then I am doing the chronological to make it add up
So where are you
together.
at? What was the last
So,
movie you watched?
I think Iron Man, because I think the Hulk was after Iron Man. I got a
Rikki.
long way to go, Nick. It's fine. I can ask you questions. I can look up questions and ask them. It's not going to be a
You
cheat.
get
I'll forget by the time I watch the movie.
you got a week and a half to figure this out.
Okay.
To watch all the movies. You got a week and a
I
half.
I don't have the time.
All right. Well, during an hour of soccer, you can watch half a movie. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Guys, it's been fun. As always, we're going to entertain ourselves. We are certain of that. Be certain in who you are. Be certain in what you do. Some big things should be coming soon from the podcast. I think we're going to be getting some other content out other than just the podcast itself. But until next week, man, until y'all see us again, be certain who you are. Be certain what you do. Love you guys. See you, Rikki.
Bye.